So this is the chapter we are going to see today, engaging with form and content. So art communicates visual ideas, just as speaking and writing communicate verbal ideas. So in order for viewers to engage with art, we must interpret the visual language of the artist. So we use a combination of various methods such as description, analysis, and critic to understand the appearance and meaning or content of a work. So we can also apply our own viewpoints or critique. So today we are going to see the interpretive method that are most frequently used and are most effective. So we're going to see four analysis method in art. So the first type of analysis is formal analysis based on the visual elements and the principles of design we've learned so far. So artists have many tools at their disposal, which we call the visual elements and the principles of design. So visual elements include line, shape and mass, light, color, texture and pattern, and space and time and motion. Also, artists can use the principles of design such as unity and variety, balance, emphasis, and subordination, and scale and proportion, and pattern and rhythm. So to organize the visual elements, so artists use the principles of design. So a work of art is therefore a product of the dynamic interrelationships between the various art elements and principles. So the process of analyzing the elements and principles used by the artist is called formal analysis. To analyze a work of art fully, formally, one describes in specific detail how each element and principle is utilized within it. So, so I will proceed the formal analysis about this work of art. So this is Edward Hopper's painting, Nighthawks. It conveys a sense of absence and loneliness when you see this painting. So when making a formal analysis of a two-dimensional work, such as this painting, the usual aspects you can consider are the locations of the objects, the colors used, and the relationships between the parts of the composition. So in front of this building, the sidewalk wraps around a curved diner on the street corner and cutting up the group of people inside and whom we see through the glass outer walls. The inside is brightly lit in contrast to the streets outside. This makes the room a particular area of emphasis in the picture. So it further draws our attention to the people and together with the use of brilliant color in the yellow wall behind the counter, exposed them clearly to us, showing how isolated they are. The stark contrast between the woman's red dress and hair, and the black suit, the black suit guys with the hat, they make the customers, um, and the white uniform of the waiter make the figures more distinct, both within the scene and form one another. So that is a formal analysis based on these visual elements and the principles of design. So the next analysis style is stylistic analysis. So we recognize a style in our own life. The way we dress and arrange our hair reflects our personal style. So artworks also have a style or specific characteristic that make them look the way they do. Style allows us to recognize that an artwork was made by a particular artist. A group of artists might share a style because they all used similar techniques, worked at the same time, or studied in the same place. So style can be individual or shared by a group, school, time period, or movement. So analyzing style allows us to make connections between artworks. So let's see these two paintings. So can you find the similarity between these two paintings?
Do we just speak about on anything that we see that may be similar?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe.
The color looks a little similar, like
Yeah. The
the
color.
blotchiness.
Yes. The color. Yes. Very good. The color, because these two artists depict the lighting, right, in the scene. So that's why the color looks like similar. Yes. Very good.
Like a muddy look to it in both
Mhm.
photos, I believe, paintings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can still see what it is. Like you can still see that these are people, and that is like a rock or a hill. No, a haystack. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
haystack. Yes.
So, but yeah, it's like muddy.
Yeah.
But peeling. I think it catches
Mhm. Mm-hmm. And
catches people.
uh-huh. And the both of these this painting shows unusual angle of the scene or object, right? So that can be one of the similarity between these two paintings. What else?
One's of a landscape and another is a group of people.
Yes. Can you focus on the texture of the paint?
The left one is much rougher than the right one. The right one's much
Mhm.
smoother.
Yeah, it can be. Yes. But it seems like they are the right one and the left one used very rough brush strokes, right, on um, the canvas, right? It doesn't look like very soft texture.
No.
No. Yes. So so these are impressionist artist paintings in 19th century. So impressionism is a 19th century art movement characterized by relatively small, thin, yet visual brush strokes and open composition, emphasis on accurate depiction of light in its changing qualities, and often accentuating the effect of the passage of time or ordinary subject matter, and inclusion of movement, crucial elements of human perception and experience, and unusual visual angles. So these are all the features of the Impressionism. So Impressionism organized with a group of Paris-based artists whose independent exhibitions brought them to preeminence during the 1870s and 1880s. So like the Impressionists, many artists who sought to similar concepts and trends made a group, and they chose similar styles. And the next type of analysis is iconographic analysis. So iconography examines the visual ideas, visual images, and the symbols used in a work of art, and leads to an interpretation of the work's meaning. Iconographic analysis identifies objects and figures in an artwork as signs or symbols that can reflect religious or historical context, and the meaning of which was often more directly understood at a time by a specific culture, but may now be less apparent to us. So let's see one of the example for the iconographic analysis. So there are lots of objects in the foreground, and it looks like she's a barmaid, right? And we can see, so the background is actually the mirror, so reflecting the view in front of her. So this is a impressionist artist, another impressionist artist, Edward Manet. Manet's painting, A Bar at a Folies Bergère in 1882. So the painting is rich in details, which provide clues to social class. The woman at the bar is a real person known as Susan, who worked at the bar in the early 1880s. And for his painting, Manet posed her in his studio by including a dish of oranges in the foreground. And Manet identifies the barmaid as a prostitute, according to art historian Letty L. Ligo, who says that Manet habitually associated oranges with prostitution in his paintings. So one of the hidden meaning is orange. So that symbolizes the prostitution in his painting. So to find this symbol or hidden meaning of work of art is iconographic analysis.
So, Professor,
Yes.
with iconographic analysis, would you need an understanding of history within
Yes.
the time period a painting
Yes.
was made?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. So it requires to research, actually. Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Very interesting. And actually, any art critics don't know why he used the oranges to make the symbol of the prostitution in his paintings. Nobody knows. Yeah. All right. So the next type of analysis is contextual analysis. So the content or meaning of a work of art varies gently between artworks. So to understand the context of a work of art fully, you will usually have to undertake some research. In addition to looking very closely at the artwork itself. So there are two contextual analysis. So one is religious context, and the other one is historical context analysis. So let's analyze this church first, based on the religious context analysis. So in Middle Age, about 1,000 years between 5th century to the 14th century, Christianity art flourished in Western culture. So this is one of the famous architecture type in Middle Age, which is called Gothic style. So the Gothic style was steered by a powerful French abbot named Suger, who wanted to enlarge and remodel this church, the Abbey Church of Saint Denis near Paris. So he came to believe that an ideal church should have certain characteristics. It should appear to reach up to heaven. It should have harmonious proportions, and it should be filled with light. To fulfill those goals, his architects responded with pointed arches. Now, I know this photo is too small, so you cannot see the pointed arches. It's about here, and the inside of the church, and ribbed vaulting, flying buttresses, and stained glass window so large, so they seemed like translucent walls. So it is ornate, linear, vertical elements that direct eye upward. And here's another example for the contextual analysis. So what can you see from this work of art?
Looks like a man who is drunk or was drunk, and he looks like
Oh.
he's dead or passed.
Is that?
Seems like
No.
there was a fight within the room, possibly.
Yeah,
There's multiple
maybe.
people in the background in the dark, and then to his right, to his left.
Yeah. So look at this, under
child.
this guy.
Baby?
There is a baby. Yes.
Oh. So possibly
Yeah.
let's see the baby.
Yes. It's
Another person in the corner.
That's right. It's all the dead bodies on the
Mm.
floor. Yes. So it's so, terrible,
Yeah.
event. Yeah, something happened in this, work
Mm.
of art. We can see that. That's right. So I will tell you the story in detail. So this is a realism artist, Honor Darmier. Honor Darmier's lithography printing work of art. So we're gonna learn the lithography when you learn the printing techniques, maybe a couple of weeks later. So he recorded a historically terrible event in this work. So major French cities, including Lyon and Paris, revolted. April 15, 1834, the Parisians stand barricades in the street. During the attack of one of the barricades by the army, Transnomian Street, an infantry captain was killed by a shot fired from a house. So the next day, the soldiers will attack very hard rioters and will break down the doors of the building at number 12, Lou Transnomian, supposed to be the one from which the party was shot. So all residents of the building, including old men, women, and children, were massacred. So a bloody event that will remain in history as the massacre of Transnomian Street, imaged by the painter and caricaturist Honor Damier. So
It's really sad.
very sad. Yes, it's terrible.
Mm. That poor baby.
Yeah, poor baby. Mhm. All right. So, it could be said that all interpretation involves a balance between fact and opinion. So analysis involves careful consideration and discussion of specific aspects of an artwork, while critique offers a theoretical framework for understanding it. So critics of artworks often highlight the ideas, opinions, experiences of the viewer. So this section's topic is kind of tricky, but this is basic concepts for art appreciation. So I hope you could apply this analysis method when you see a piece of art. So we have a discussion related to this chapter. Okay, so this is the today's topic. So everyone, I need you to go to discussion 4.2 after this meeting, and you will see 3 paintings in this forum here, like this, and choose one of them and proceed formal analysis. So let's remind what the formal analysis is. So this is it. So formal analysis is basically to analyze work of art based on the visual elements and the principles of design we've learned. So it's pretty much simple. So you can just find the visual elements and the principles of design in a work of art. So the visual elements includes like line, shape and mass, light, color, texture and pattern, space, and time and motion. And the principles of design includes unity and variety, balance, emphasis and subordination, scale and proportion, rhythm, and pattern. So we learned lots of details in these 2 chapters, right? So you're going to apply it when you analyze a work of art. So for example, let's see this Jan van Eyck's painting. So I can see he's using the the 1 point perspective, the linear perspective in this painting, like this, so all the lines goes to the center. I'm sorry, I think that the line is wrong, like this, that is the center with the vanishing point, right? And also, let's talk about the color. So also he's using the green and red colors, which are the complementary colors to show the simultaneous contrast, right? And he's using the, he has very excellent technique to, draw the details. It looks like real. So that was called like, implied texture, the visual texture, right? So he's using it. And let's move on to the principles of design. So I can see, one of the type of the asymmetrical balance we learned, excuse me. So the one, the one form is dark and the other form is light, so of the same size, and the dark form is heavier. And maybe we can talk about the emphasis and subordination with this work of art. So I can see these two figures, looks like a couple. So this couple is an emphasis in this work of art, and the room decoration can be the subordination. And in this emphasis, I guess this woman, the pregnant woman, is the focal point, right? So like this. So that is the easiest way to do the formal analysis, okay? So everyone can do the formal analysis if you know the, the visual elements and the principles of design, because all the artists use that factors. So choose one of them and then proceed the formal analysis. So find as much as you can in a work of art, okay? So it's going to be fun. And this discussion is really important because, I mentioned we have the essay question in the midterm, right? On the first day of the course. This is it. You're going to proceed the formal analysis for the essay question, okay? So you will see an artist artwork, and then you're going to proceed the formal analysis. So this discussion's topic is going to be really good practice for the essay question, okay? So any question?